Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Endless Legend. It has been a couple of rough days in terms of technical issues, especially, but we're finally back. So today we're going to start a new game as the Cultists, but I want to talk about a couple of things first. I guess I could talk about a couple of things while we're in the game. Let's hit it. It's all the same options as the last game. Shared victories still on. We're going to talk about it. So, I've been thinking about shared victories a lot over the last couple of days, trying to put some precision on my thoughts about them so that we could, so that I could come back to you people and explain what the hell I'm doing with the shared victory conditions being on, even though I have derided shared victories on a number of occasions. Here's the thing. I don't think that a shared victory is necessarily invalid, even though the game has no real team play mechanics. If I'm part of a shared victory, if an AI wins and I only win because I was allied with them, if I was actually part of the win, if I was instrumental to the victory, if they could not have done it without me, or at least could not have done it that way without me, that's fine. That's a totally legitimate team victory. My problem with shared victories is the shared victories where it's obvious that they could have done what they did without me, where it doesn't feel like I helped very much. Because then I don't feel like I earned anything, right? I don't feel like I actually got there. They got there, and I just tricked them at the last moment into letting me have my name on the screen. So, I'm not actually sure which one of those camps the victory that we got at the end of last week falls into. Because obviously Green was doing very well on Dust, but we saw their progress on the Dust victory slow considerably, probably owing to all of the sieging and stuff that was happening on their cities. And I wonder, we saw so many green units die. We know that the city to the south of us was under siege at the end. I honestly wonder if maybe us taking that red city, denying red a place nearby to buy and build units, and probably redirecting some of their armies, right? We couldn't see very deep into their territory, but it's reasonable to think that they probably moved some armies around a little bit differently because all of a sudden they had another source of danger nearby. Like, did we buy enough time for Green to get their thing done before Red could finish them off? Could cripple them enough to slow them down enough to finish them off before the Dust victory? I honestly don't know. I think it's possible. So I don't feel too bad, is the point I'm making here. I don't feel too bad about that victory. I feel comfortable counting that one as like a real actual win. Before we do anything here, let's go ahead and create a save so that people can play along. It's Cultists. Cultists again. It's like, yeah, it's just Cultists again, that's all. So I'll be posting that. So, if I'm willing to count that as a real victory, how come we're back here? Why are we playing Cultists again? The reason for this is that I just want to try to break some bad habits. Man, I got some real play issues with the Cultists. Mostly, I think, stemming from fear. I had a series of bad experiences. I don't honestly know that I've ever had a good experience playing the cult. And people who have been watching me play Endless Legend for, geez, what at this point is actual literal human years that I have been uploading Endless Legend to YouTube, know that I've had bad experiences. Those games in like the Inferno series were nightmares. To be fair to me, that was right after we discovered ELCP, I think, and I played Cultists on Endless while trying to adjust to the new AI, and that was a real embarrassment. But basically, I play the Cultists in a more timid way than I play the other factions, and I don't think that that is the best way to play them. It's just the way that I've convinced myself that I have to play them because I'm scared of the consequences of doing it other ways. So what we're doing today is we're trying to play them in a different way. Failure is not a thing to be afraid of, especially in a video game where there are literally no stakes. This does not matter in any real way at all. So we're just going to try to be more aggressive. I'm going to try to play a little closer to the way I play like Broken Lords, or maybe even Necrophages. We're going to kill people early, we're going to take cities, we're going to get industry stockpiles, and we're going to use those industry stockpiles to defend us from the negative consequences of our decisions. The one last thing I want to talk about before we get going here, and I know we're 4 minutes into the episode and I haven't played any Endless Legend yet, but just hold on one more moment. Why are we not playing the end of that? I said I was going to go back and do the end of that game over again. Why are we not doing that? That is, I think, possibly related to the technical issues I was having. Both my computer and my internet were real wild over the last couple of days. I only managed to get Civ recorded yesterday, and I wasn't able to upload it for like 10 or 12 hours after I recorded it because my internet was just being horrible, very unreliable. But I can't get that game to run again. I can load up that save at turn 105, but it just hangs indefinitely at the end of turn 106 reliably. And I don't know how to fix it, and I don't really think it's worth spending any more time on at this point. So we're just starting a new game. I feel like we won as Cultists. I'm comfortable counting that as a real win. And I actually kind of love the narrative of that game. Where, like, Green and I we were at quote-unquote peace almost the entire game. But we were constantly at each other's throats with the backbiting and the insults and them banning me from the market and me saying lots of rude things about them. And then the sharpening of the knives and the waiting for moments of weakness in each other. But then we were driven together and forced to properly ally by a terrifying foe consuming the world. It's just kind of a neat story. I'm glad that happened the way it did. Alright, let's play Endless Legend. Let's play a new game trying to be a little bit more aggressive. So, I'm noticing that I like this spot over here. Weaver Worms and Spiral Rockpeel both give approval, which is pretty great. Down here we have Clay and Exotics and the Coast, which I'm big fans of, but there's no approval down there, which is a thing to think about. Okay, let's hope that that's not auspicious. I'm going to send our hero down here toward that other ruin that we can see in the dark. Oh. I can't remember whether you get more XP for searching ruins or talking to people. Whatever, I'll have the hero search the ruin, we'll have somebody else talk to that village. And of course, as always, we do this before settling. Ooh, there's Mykara over there. So, you play different factions differently, right? You have to. They're different enough that you will not do well if you don't. Okay, so these are some Delvers that would like 8 glass steel. In general, part of the way I play these guys is by really caring about the ocean a lot. You have a limited ability to get resources with the cult via any method other than the market if you don't pick up a bunch of fortresses. And so I do still strongly feel incentivized to actually settle near the coast, which makes me like this tile a lot. We are real low industry over here, though. Let's run the Preacher out. I'm debating between going this way and going this way. This is a better... you know what? I was going to say this is a better start. It's very low on food, isn't it? So we have, like, a good industry low food area and a good food low industry area. Reasonable science and dust in both. Yeah. This is a tough one. 4, 11, 12, 10 versus 10, 4, 8, 11, but this one has ocean access. If we settle over here, we're never going to get to the sea. Or, not never. But by the time we get to the sea, all of the oceans will be already conquered. This is a better start. The low food sucks, but it's correctable with tech. 12 starting science is pretty good. 20 starting approval is really nice to have. Now remember, you don't have to settle in your initial region. Don't feel like you necessarily need to. It's a bad idea to delay your settle very long, but if you can see a reasonable spot across the border and run to it by, like, turn 2, it's probably okay to do that. These guys are like 50 of my dust. I may give them 50 of my dust. Yeah, I think we're just going to put down right here. This is, like, totally fine, not great, is how I would categorize this start. I do love the ocean, but we're just going to... I don't think we have a good situation for setting up on the ocean this game. The thing about getting early control of the ocean is that you have to act fast, right? If you don't act fast, you're going to have to actually spend resources getting a real navy together, and we may still do that. It may turn out to be worthwhile. But I'm a little bummed out that we're not going to get that early ocean boost. Yeah, let's go ahead and give these guys their 50 dust. Oh, hold on. Before we do anything else, let's have a look at our legendary deeds. Destroy 10 armies to get tactical training, so that's not happening. Be the first to gather at least 30 units of one luxury resource in order to get 130 emeralds. Yeah, alright. Well, we'll see. Alright, what do you guys want? You want 5 glass steel. Turns out glass steel is really popular today. And I guess at this point we can turn off the the resource overlay. So, we need food. We have a 12 to 32 turn summer ahead of us. I think I'm going to go cultivation before mill foundry here. I don't usually do this, but we are really low food. I want that very badly. So we'll... see, okay, yeah, we definitely need to keep our person here on food. Alright. Yeah, this is a start. We have a lot of incentive to expand. We have good anomalies out in the world. I would love to get over to these. I'd love to get over to that Mycordia. We'll see. We'll see. Our city center being so close to the edge of our territory means that in order to level the city center up to level 3, we're going to have to build a bunch of districts that have limited value, which is not great. But I also think moving the city center like one tile over to avoid that problem would have been very silly. I don't know. I guess you could settle here. Like, the spiral rock peel is a better tile than the weaver worms by a pretty large margin. Yeah, it's possible we could have settled there and just burrowed over to here. As it is, we're going to have to build burrows in some pretty goofy spots. Like, we're going to have a burrow... because we can burrow around it to make level 2 pretty easily, but remember, all the burrows around it have to be level 2 for it to be level 3, which means that we're going to have to burrow here and here to level up this one. Yeah, our city shape is going to be a little non-ideal for completing our faction quest. We may not do it. You know, you don't have to complete your faction quest to win the game. Oh, interesting. Area expands up a little bit more than I would have thought over here. Titanium, that's not the right one. We got to convert 2 minor faction villages for a whole bunch of spices, which I have strong feelings about. I do love spices. Also, we have gold in our home region, which is worth noting. So, oh, another thing that's worth noting. We are now playing on the Endless Legend 2.3.3 community patch. Community patch version 2.3.3. I said all those things, but not in the right order. Okay, now this village wants me to destroy that other village for 15 gold. Well... we might do that, actually. Is that... yes, it is close enough for me to get the city garrison in on it. I'd really like to get Andom in there, too, though. That's good XP. You can make it to there next turn. Is that in... that is in reinforcement range. Okay, I'm going to wait right here for a turn. I want to attack it from this tile, right? I guess what I can do is walk up here, get a little bit of vision, and then walk back down, and we know we're running for that next. I guess I could just assign Andom over here, couldn't I? Yeah, what am I thinking? What I'm thinking is that I would like to still be able to scout around this way. Whatever, it'll be fine. Let's just assign Andom over here. It's turn 2. This is an okay time to do this. So we'll destroy this village and then pacify this village via quest. This should be very easy. So, what is different about the new version of the Endless Legend community patch? Well, one of the major things is that there's been a bit of a rebalance on the minor factions, which I think is reasonable. There are some minor factions that are just, like, flat worse than others. And it's good to maybe try to get them all to a place of viability. I do not remember exactly what all the changes are, because I read the patch notes on Monday, and I'm real spacey. I mean, if you've been watching me for a while here, you know this. So these guys don't have a lot of movement. They're both just going to hit end on this turn. Yeah, we'll buff his attack once, and then we'll have the Preacher actually fight. So if we're thinking that we might want to engage in early combat, we have to change up our research priorities a little bit. It's also important that we pursue our faction quest aggressively to the point of getting that first buff trinket for cultist units, because Nameless Guard with that trinket are very powerful. That is the unit we want to use to do most of the fighting in our conquest. It would be good for us to pick up a decent minor faction melee unit. Honestly, Eresis, not a bad call. And their assimilation bonus is movement, isn't it? Which is definitely one of the better ones. Yeah. Yeah, definitely something worth thinking about. Get pacified. Alright, so we got 15 die from doing that. 15 gold from defeating the village, and then 15 die from coming back and telling them what's up. And that's pretty cool because we can pop 2 resource boosters and go to Fervent. Yeah, man, not a bad start at all, actually. So how much... we're looking at 22 influence to get that done. Ah, that's awkward. Okay, well, it is not a good idea for us to put people on influence yet, probably. We should probably get some of our basic stuff established. The Founders Memorial will help. We may want to go for Sewer System early. I mean, Sewer System's only +1 influence, isn't it? Yeah. So yeah, I'm just trying to break some bad habits here. One of the things that I believe very strongly, and it's truer in video games than it is anywhere else in the world, owing largely to the fact that video games are, like, extremely low stakes, is that it's really important to not be afraid of failure. To understand that failure can be valuable to you. Failing to find things in a ruin, however, always bad. Now look at that. Andom learned something, and now he will be more powerful. We're definitely just going to make him the Uber Lord of our city again. It works really well. He's not my favorite cultist hero for this purpose, but I do not want to have to risk not being able to find another one later. Oh, and here's our first neighbor. What do we got? What do we got? Come back with Delvers and 8 titanium and 8 glass steel to unlock what is honestly a very good crossbow. It's just that this quest is a huge pain in the ass. Yeah, so, like, we're going to experiment a little bit here. We may not play a full game with the cultists. We may lose really quickly because I'm trying to do stuff that's too aggressive, but I think it will be valuable for us to try it and lose, rather than to just continue following the same group of assumptions, which is a thing that's very easy to get into. So, what are we talking about on the seed storage? I think I'm just going to buy out the Founders Memorial. Let's get on this right now. We've had a pretty good run here so far on dust. Our start is relatively high dust, partially thanks to the Weaver Worms. Being fervent here is really relevant. Mykara? Yeah, Mykara. Also, I think this edition of the community patch fixed the approval bug with the Mykara, so we will be playing them again soon. I don't know that we'll be playing them right after Cultists, because, you know, there are definitely some serious similarities in their playstyle due to being single faction or single city factions. Turn to this village when you're ready to give them 50 dust. There's a non-zero chance that they're just going to be destroyed by the Mykara on this coming turn, and now I'm wondering if I want to attack and destroy them first. Remember that the Ipotane is a real unit. It's not like a great unit, but it's way better than a Preacher. And Specialized Polyp 9S III is actually a pretty good fighter. What I'm trying to say is I think we will lose if they attack us. Andom's 53-53 with 51 damage and 224 health. Andom is probably about on par with this guy. The thing about Specialized Polyp 9S is that he's a kind of a glass cannon, right? He only has 127 max HP. Maybe we win if he fights us. I don't feel confident. So we'll run away as fast as possible at the beginning of the turn. He may chase us. If he does, you know, whatever. He only moves exactly as fast as we do, so he won't be able to catch us. Would these guys make good friends for us, maybe? Yeah, actually, the Mykara and the cult working together to keep all of the other nations out of the surrounding area might be a good strategy. I think I am just going to attack this village, because I don't think we're going to get to do the quest, and we could get some XP on our hero real quick. Eyeless ones are extremely easy to beat in battle. Let's do that. Let us kill these poor fools for the crime of having been kind of nearby. Sort of. That's really it. Alright, yeah, we're not going to get a lot done here in this first round, and they're going to get to shoot first, but they're not going to do very much damage. They did get the slowdown. That's a problem. Until Andom actually gets over there, this is a real, like, idiots in boxing gloves kind of battle. Here we go. Now somebody can do some real damage. Boxing gloves are a bad... I was trying to think of, like, how do you pad your fists? But boxing gloves are not a good example, because the whole point of wearing boxing gloves is that you're still supposed to be able to knock people out. Should have said, like, pillows on hands or something. Okay, I was afraid there we weren't actually going to get the job done. So yeah, 12 XP. That's not nothing. And then the fleeing began. Okay, how much are we looking at on the buyout here? 138? I'm just thinking we'd like to, as soon as Mill Foundry is done, if we could buy the rest of this out, that would be cool. I'd like to get that Mill Foundry established as well. I'll tell you what, my number one favorite change, the Endless Legend community patch has done a lot of great stuff, and all the AI changes are really important and everything, but this thing where you only have to press the execute orders button once and it just remembers you've pressed it and actually executes them might be my favorite single change. 40 dust is a pretty good find. So we probably want to search for minor faction villages away from Mykara territory, I guess. We're going to be able to convert a village pretty soon. Yeah, our preacher will just come back this way. We'll figure out what the best village is. I would like to grab one that's not all the way on the edge of the region. Usually minor faction villages tend to be around the edges, but sometimes they're just at the edge of the land, where they're a little bit better to convert. Don't think they followed us, but let's have some move orders queued in here, just in case. They went up into the forest. I don't actually know exactly where they are. Oh, we got Lust for Loot. I love Lust for Loot. Okay, so we got to search that. Lust for Loot's always a good time. Can we see... No, we cannot see another village. Well, we could just grab this village. I'm a little worried that being right on Pink's border, it's going to just get destroyed by Pink if I don't defend it. But we could convert a village over here that's on the coast, and I'd feel a little bit safer. There's no pin button right on this thing. Pin. There we go. It's like I've never played the game before, as opposed to, you know, reality, which is that I've never done anything else, it feels like. So, what do we want now? We have a couple of interesting options available. So we're fervent right now, but we won't stay fervent forever. It might be worth picking up Sewer System. I don't like Sewer System, or rather, I think Sewer System is less good than Central Market. And in general, in a position where I only need the approval from one of them, I'd prefer to wait for Central Market. We have gold and titanium. So we could pick up a resource extraction tech. We could get Mercenary Market in the hopes of an early eclipse, leading to us being able to buy a hero really fast. And also Mercenary Market is especially valuable for us because it lets us sell the garbage units that come out of the villages. That's probably the right thing to do. Well, we don't need it right now, though. Right now we're researching things very quickly. Let's try to keep that up. Why don't we try to keep pace? Public Library is probably better than Topography, even though obviously the Center for Mineralogy is great and we will want it eventually. What's our science output look like right now? Okay, we actually have science on all of our tiles. So maybe I'd rather have Topography, or maybe I'd rather have Geomic Labs than a Public Library, and then we just incidentally also get the Center for Mineralogy along with it. What does the rest of our territory nearby look like? There's science on every tile. Yeah, I don't usually do it this way, and we definitely will want Public Library as well, but let's go ahead and try something a little bit different. I think we're actually in a situation here where topology makes a lot of sense, and it's going to be more science, right? So is my hero allowed to... Yes, my hero is allowed to detach now. With the hero run down here, and we will have these guys go and search for more stuff. Like that. It's actually quite a large region. Alright, these guys would like to see 3 minor faction units. That's actually totally doable. So, do we want to convert this village, or do we want to poke our heads over here and see if there's a third village? In a region of this size, I'm guessing there's a third village, but we don't know where it'll be. And obviously picking up the extra point of population earlier is more valuable. Oh, also, I forgot to even see if we could buy out the seed storage. Whatever, it's fine. So at this point, if I move us to industry, we're talking about a couple of turns off of the mill foundry. Let's keep focusing on population for the moment. I'm just going to convert this village. Okay. Turns out that was the good play. Nothing. Okay, there is a good village to convert over here. So what did we pick up there? An Ursus? A Rumbler. So the Rumbler is one of the units that was changed. I know that. You'll notice he has lost the beam capacity. I don't remember what else was done to him. You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and pull up the patch notes because I'm pretty sure I still have them open in a browser tab somewhere. Hey, look at that. I certainly do. Okay, let me... Also worth noting, this patch changed the way the AI uses the Urkans pretty significantly, in that they will now actually produce... they'll actually pull the Urkans up and use them as armies and stuff, so we have to be very wary of that. Balance changes. Let's see, Urkan's got... Here we go. Urkan's got disease immunity in order to make necrophages less strong against them is interesting. So the Yotus, the Tetike, has now True Sight, which is good because they're like crazy expensive and almost never worth it. The Seratan Drider had its base damage increased by 10 points, which is very significant. That might actually make them worth using. The base damage of the Berdeki was decreased by 14 points, which I kind of get where he's coming from there. The Berdeki is like was the best neutral unit in my opinion. I can see why you might want to reduce the strength of that. Rumblers have lost their beam capacity, can't use claws anymore, have had their base cost reduced, and can now use two-handed axes. So they can get Range Slayer then. Axes give you Range Slayer. That's actually pretty interesting. I think this makes them worse, but not like hugely so. And they have a different niche now. It's tricky to use them as ranged killing units because their initiative is so low. You don't get to deny the ranged units their attack, which is like the thing I really want out of a ranged killer, but they're still good fighters. I mean, look at how big and strong that unit is. So the question is, do we leave him in the village, or do we pop him out and have him explore, leaving the village completely defenseless? I think the answer is we do that one. We run him out and have him explore. Because ruins and stuff, right? Like, let's go figure out what's over here. There is value to be earned, and we've gotten ourselves another point of population. These guys just want some glass steel, right? We might have to pacify them with violence. I don't know. We'll see. I'm playing, like, really slowly. I apologize. Like I said, we may not play a whole game here, but we will at least play a significant portion of a game. This is not going to be like a one-and-done sort of deal. Alright, let's get this and figure out where the next thing for Lust for Loot is. So what did I get there? I got 15 gold. There's 80 dust waiting for us over in that, that gross overgrown ruin. I can do that. Wow, settling up here would have been really nice. It's a shame that we didn't really have the opportunity to do that. Like, that would have been a long walk. I'm just going to have a peek inside their territory. I don't want the Preacher to go too far, because I'd really like to convert that as soon as possible. I think part of the problem I have with single-city factions is that one of my favorite parts of the game is finding all the cool new stuff in the new regions, exploring out, and then figuring out how you're going to best exploit that. And I lose that with these guys, and that does make me a little sad. So, building cost reduction from Ursus. If we can convert some more of these villages, that'll be pretty powerful. We're not making a ton of dust anymore because of the fact that we are now, now running additional armies. Get this mill foundry done a little bit faster. Like, our home city is growing quickly, and that's a powerful thing. I guess let's just grab Empire Mint. Like, let's just grab all of the big, flat boost buildings, because we're in a really good spot to take advantage of them. And then we might start looking at our army right after that, honestly. Again, the Eclipse is going to have some effect on this, because like the earlier we can hire a combat hero, the better. And I was going to go into Anshan to serve as governor probably as soon as we finish Lust for Loot. What have you guys got? You would like me to activate 2 boosters to prove my wisdom and power. And it's another Delver region. Well, as soon as one of these ends, we can repop the gold. This is have 30 units of something at the same time. So if we're lucky, and we found some more gold, Yeah, if we got lucky, we found some more gold to get us up to 30 gold so that we could get the Emerald Booster. The Emerald Booster would help us get this, but I'm not afraid. Like, I think we're probably going to be able to accomplish that pretty easily, in fact. Alright, there are overgrown stuff all around us. We're going to need pillage to help control them. There's going to be several turns before we're ready for this. I should have checked the costs. Well, let's go back. Okay, 44. Turns out I don't have to actually walk all the way back. So yeah, it's going to be quite a while before we're ready for that. Never mind. At some point, we're going to have to assign some people to influence, it looks like. Man, we're finding nothing in these ruins a lot. Sometimes you find influence in ruins, and I often feel like I didn't get very good value when that happens, but this is a game where I'd be very eager to get influence as ruin loot and quest rewards and stuff. So if we were to move some people over to influence, I definitely want to finish the mill foundry right now. But it's probably worth getting this village converted soon. Like maybe have this guy walk over here, get the quest, and then walk back and convert the village. It's like, how many people do we have to keep on industry to finish the mill foundry now? So we're delaying the growth of our empire in terms of population in order to gain points of population and resources from other sources. But these population are incredibly fragile, trivially killable. It does look like Pink City is maybe not actually down here. This region must have a... yeah, they must be up there, I guess. It's just like a really strangely shaped region, so maybe they won't even see these villages. But if they do see these villages, they will attack them. And we will lose the points of population that we're spending all these resources on. So there's definitely a risk here. A lot of whether it's correct to play this way is going to depend on who your neighbors are and how they behave. We are hoping to get lucky on that front. Okay, don't put any influence in military and put stuff into economy and population. I am very unlikely to put influence into the military area, but that other part is not ideal for us, I think. Travel to the Goran village with only a hero in your army and earn their respect by defeating the army of the Goran alpha male. This is a fantasy setting, so alpha males are a real thing, unlike in real life. I think it's so weird how the concept of the alpha got so much cultural penetration when it comes from this like weird old research paper about wolves that, first of all, was about wolves, not people, and secondly, was debunked by its author later in his life. It was like, oh yeah, actually, I completely misinterpreted what was happening there, and their society is not organized in this way at all. Very strange thing. Alright, so it's going to take 2 turns for us to get back to there. In that time, we will generate enough influence for... Actually, we'll be at 43 if we don't move another person over to influence real quick. It adds a turn to the geomic lab, that's annoying. And then I think we should still be able to get influence going for the Empire plan. A little worried that we're neglecting our cities here. I guess you're really taking a trip. Well, as long as there keep being ruins to search and people to talk to. Wow, that's just really a huge amount of overgrowing that they're doing. Also, they waited until after I moved to use all of their move. What a very annoying thing for them to have done. Well, I have enough health to survive at 1 retreat. Apparently they don't have their action point, or they would have attacked us already. Tribe has informed you that there's a Goran village in Amund, which you should destroy. It's that one, it turns out. Well, one problem at a time. So, there's another player over here. If I move to this spot, they're still able to catch me, yeah? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Shoot. I can't get away from them into a tile that I can search the ruin in. So I guess I'm just gonna get attacked here. I want to meet that new player. I want to know what's up. Okay, so now we can pull somebody back. Did I miscalculate? I may have miscalculated somewhere. Yeah, we might have been fine. Whatever. It doesn't much matter. Okay, let's get the Geomic Lab done in 2. We have, like, pretty good initial resource outputs. Because nobody else needs to be ordered to do anything in a real hurry. Okay. So yeah, I guess we'll move to here and hope that maybe Pink will get distracted and have something else to do. Oh, that's annoying. I can't actually search the ruin. Okay, so you don't have to get pillage. Oh my god, that sucks. That's terrible. That's going to kill all of my Lust for Loot time. Oh, very inconvenient. Alright, well... After we get Public Library, do we want to go into Mercenary Market in the hopes of being able to buy ourselves a combat hero? Because, like, the earlier we get them, the earlier they start leveling, right? I think so. We're negative on dust right now, but that won't be the case forever. We already have the Empire Mint in the queue. Also, we can just keep finding dust from ruins. Who needs to have a functional economy when you could just run your economy with stuff you find on the ground? Okay, so in 5 turns we're going to get some dyes, which will probably help us complete that quest for the Delvers over here. We still haven't managed to find any glass steel, unfortunately. I don't think it's terribly valuable to have this guy sitting in this village. I think we're paying upkeep for him no matter what. So he's costing us as much being in this army as he is being in this village. And now this army can actually kind of fight a little bit at least. I am inclined to think that what we want to do here is search the rest of this region. I want to know exactly where Pink City is. So given that this is going to take 8 turns, there's only 9 turns left on Lust for Loot. Yeah, that's really terrible. In order for this to have completed, it means that when Lust for Loot chose this ruin, the ruin was already being overgrown. It wasn't overgrown yet, but the process had started. They should probably change it so that it doesn't choose ruins that have already been targeted for overgrowth. That's not a resolvable problem, really. 40 dust is welcome. Get our gold running again immediately because I want the dust. And then in a couple of turns we'll be able to run the dyes again and get back to Fervent. Or maybe we'll get lucky and we'll find something else. What's our booster cost right now? Is it 11? 12. Okay, so it's one point of extra boosters per village, roughly. So, like, this is not worth doing, basically. I'm not going to stand still for 8 turns to get 80 dust, but it really sucks that that's able to just completely kill Lust for Loot. So we'll search this ruin, we'll meet Red, and then we'll send and back to Rule. Again, really? Alright, we did it. Hey, look at that. We got, oh yeah, spices, right. That'll convert those Delvers. And get us the Skull of the Caves, which actually is a pretty good hat and very cheap to equip. So now we must assimilate a minor faction for some emeralds, which we will absolutely do. Which way do I think is going to be best to meet? Oh, it's probably this way, right? To know you, I want to know who you are and what your deal is. Okay. This guy's getting far enough away from our territory that he might not be useful to us anymore, but let's talk to this village, we'll check this, and we'll kind of like circle back through. What do you guys want? These Dorgeshi would like 8 of our dyes. Well, I don't want you pacified badly enough to give you 8 of my dyes. I need those. Even if I had 8 dyes right now, I need those. So we definitely want to push our faction quest as fast as possible, right? But how, like... as fast as doesn't hurt us is maybe a better way to put it. Like, how much time do I want to spend with people on influence, really? I guess let's try to get together the 30 influence necessary for this. We may just go with no empire plan for the first era. That happens sometimes. Okay, somebody hit Wealth Harvester so we can stop thinking about it. Out of curiosity... This is the one I want. Blue. Okay, we have no idea. Nothing about blue. Our city is definitely lower population than it would be if we had really settled on food here, and I think I'm concerned that we're going to end up paying a price for that. Let's get the husbandry center in the queue next. Yeah, we probably don't even really need for there to be a dust eclipse. If we just get lucky on 1 or 2 more ruins, we'll be able to hire a new combat hero pretty soon. Oh, necrophages. Okay. Well. Pacify the eyeless ones and imps. We must take a hero to... Where the hell? Okay. Well, I was thinking, you know what? If that's nearby, we could do that with Andom real quick before we head out. But, never mind. Andom will warp home and become the governor that our city has always deserved. So now we're producing even more influence. We should get this village converted. That should happen soon. Okay, 40 dust. So yeah, I guess that's these guys. These guys are coming home. We have to interact with this Delver village as well. We have to either pacify them by force or figure out some glass steel or something. What is in this region that we have? Okay, there's titanium. So once we pick up extractor technology, which probably has to come after mercenary market, those villages will start generating titanium for us. We are not going to have a natural source of glass steel. Man, I'm not happy about seeing those necrophages. It just, like, soured my whole experience here. Tribe of this region does not want to negotiate. I have too many quests, is what the game's trying to tell me. Okay, yeah, we're going to be just fine on hiring a combat hero. So we're 3 turns off of mercenary market. That's a little bit of a shame. There are only a couple of heroes in the marketplace when the game starts, and new heroes appear every 15 turns, which means, you know, you get your first 3 heroes in the market on turn 1, and there's new ones on 16, and then new ones on 31. That's my understanding of it. And I would have liked to see what the first 3 heroes were before they got recycled out and the next group showed up. It would have been cool if we could have finished mercenary market like on 15, but there's no way we're going to get that. Even if we put everybody on science here, I don't think we're going to get down to 1 turn on it. So yeah, just generate enough influence for me to assimilate. We'll assimilate the Ursus, get a discount on our buildings, which is always fun. And we'll just hope the Mykara never come down here and attack our settlements. Oh, look at that. They're currently doing the thing I just hoped they wouldn't never do. So now we're going to have to burn that off. Well, whatever. It's close enough to our city that I don't think that's going to be a problem. Let's check out some ruins. Build a public library to get free alchemist furnace. Okay. That's actually, like, super good. What a fun find. Also, wow, 70 dust. Yeah, we've gotten pretty lucky in a whole bunch of ways here. In some other ways, I am feeling less lucky. But honestly, things are going pretty well. What about you guys? You guys want to talk to me? No. Well, let's merge our 2 rumblers and our preacher over here. Yeah, we're actually, like, rich, man. Let's get this public library built. I'm going to prioritize that pretty highly, because I'm not going to pull people off of influence just yet anyway. The Husbandry Center has somewhat limited value. And we'll build out in the direction of this mud soon, this clay, rather. Oh, you assholes. You unbelievable... This is what I was talking about. It begins already. Well, we certainly can't defend ourselves. Yep, and there goes the population we paid for. So it seems like these guys are far enough away that they might not get killed. We need that combat hero, though. We're going to have to be able to defend ourselves. Enter Tech Era 2 within 10 turns for pacification and free stuff. Okay, something tells me that will in fact happen. So yeah, like the wisdom of going for an influence-focused strategy, whether or not it is wise to go for an influence-focused strategy, is very reliant on your enemies and also probably your difficulty level. My guess is that the enemies are a lot less aggressive about hunting down your loose villages on lower difficulties. Okay, we are going to get an eclipse. How does that change things? Well, you are going to end your turn... Nope, those are unspoiled ruins, not temple ruins. Where do we have temple ruins nearby? There are some over there. We could run through this way and get to those, right? Yeah, this path works. Yep, that was not going to happen. And we found some glass steel. We also got some dye, which we should definitely pop. We have strong feelings about influence. So... I mean, I guess we'll still assimilate them because it moves our quest forward. We can probably move people off of influence now, right? What's my empire plan look like? Say I want that. Maybe I do want this just so that we can rush stuff if we want to. We're totally cool on that. So yeah, we can back off of influence for the moment, I think. I still want to have the influence to convert that village. Maybe just... No, if we just reconvert this village without getting a hero, or... Well, you know what? We're about to get a hero. Let's resolve that part first, then. So, Edra the Listener has damage boost 2 and defense boost 1. And is a cultist, and as such can equip our cultist-only trinkets. And actually has pretty good combat stats. Lower health than Andom, but overall, pretty strong. Now, this is an infantry hero. So the bonuses we're looking at are pretty different than a ranged hero, but you get a lot of extra life early on. You get some extra defense. Additional reinforcement positions is a big deal. That's a strong competitor, I would say. Iraku is a bad fit. You have attack boost 2 and reasonable stats. Ozek the Chosen is the cultist hero that I would rather have as a governor. He's just like strictly better than Andom the Seer. How developed is our Andom? He's only level 2, right? So he only has 1 skill point spent in this stuff. We could just purchase Ozek and have him be the governor and have Andom take combat skills. Andom's a very good fighter. I have a couple of ranged heroes available. Attack boost 3 is cool. The Vaulter heroes' stats are kind of bad because they're, to account for them having Techno Lover, which is a little bit unfortunate for people who cannot designate strategic resources as the holy resource. That means Techno Lover just doesn't do anything. Getting a specialized Polyp 9S of our own is certainly a possibility. What does he have? He has some health regen stuff, right? For armies? Army ignores movement penalties from terrain difficulty is actually awesome. Plus 10% attack on units. And Urkan Slayer. In addition to the stuff from the tree. That's interesting. And he's like a pretty good fighter. Free counter is cool. Fungal Bloom regen doesn't do anything, so he just has bad health, but... There's not a lot of good ranged heroes available. Bazi Safar Bahas has Initiative Boost 3, which is totally okay. And I do like a ranged hero a lot for the cultists because of the fact that we're going to be so reliant on Nameless Guard. So like Staggered Blows into Perfectly Balanced into Artisan's Eye is so good. Maybe we should just take this guy. And honestly, his combat stats are, they're actually quite good. He's a little faster than most ranged units are, which helps with kiting. Yeah, you know what? I actually like him quite a bit. So it's like, it's this dude versus probably Edra the Listener. Or buying Ozek the Chosen and just making Endom a military hero. Actually, I like Safar Bahas quite a bit. The benefit of him being ranged is really large with the Cultists. And Initiative Boost 3 is cool. Okay. The ranged heroes are really good. So, do we want to actually run over here and repop this village, or do I think they're just going to get burned? I guess with us having some actual units around, it's less of a concern. Are there any... Those aren't temple ruins. No, there are not any temple ruins around here for us. I don't want to have this guy grab that and then make a run for that. You probably won't make it over to here, but we can grab 2 quick searches. I'm going to ignore this for now. We're going to come up here. We're going to try to stop the fungal bloom. We're going to try to reconvert them. This one, it'll be harder for them to just run by and kill it, because it's close enough for our garrison to defend it. You guys feel like talking now? No? Alright. Should you back off and just get the temple search? Probably. That other ruin will be there later. And then we actually still have a lot of money coming in, and I'm not 100% sure what to spend it on, which is a nice feeling. We could attempt to build ourselves a museum of Auriga, which would obviously be a pretty cool thing to have. If we did that, we'd want to build it this way, I think. Building it so close to the edge is kind of awkward, but I guess if the city center is going to be level 2, that's the one that would be tough to upgrade. So yeah, we totally could get this to level 3. Also, I suppose there's not really a reason it has to be level 3, because the only benefit you get from leveling it up is more approval, which we will not need. So the question is just like, are we building the city like along this line, or are we building the city along this line to get to the coast eventually? Because if we build the city like on these 2 things, we're going to get the clay. We'll have a district here eventually, so we'll get the exotics. We're building toward the Mycordia that way. The thing that leaves out is the hidden springs over here on these grasslands. That's going to make it really awkward to get to the water, but maybe we just don't ever do the water. Yeah, I think this is a little bit of a cleaner build. So if we were to move everybody over to industry right now, that looks like 10 turns. We're going to gain a point of population between then and now, at least 1 point of population. Yeah, okay. You know what? I think we can probably get that. I hope we can get it. It would be awfully nice to have. And yeah, we can see here an exploitation tile. So they've built their city actually in a terrible place, and they're going to end up really weak in the late game, I think. All right. We don't need to research Alchemist Furnace, so we're going to get it for free when we finish our library. So what do we want? It turns out we don't need pillage to burn down the fungal blooms. We have a thing that allows us to pillage them already. It looks like we probably won't need sewer system, and I don't think there's a lot of benefit to building sewer system if you don't actually need the approval. We don't get any benefit from aquapulvistics. I guess open pit mine, which will allow us to get the gold in our home region and also luxury resources from other nearby regions. It looks to me like we're cool to convert villages over here as well. Don't have any players terribly nearby. I'm not sure what we're going to do about the Mykara, because I want to burn all of their stupid fungal blooms so that I can convert villages, but also I kind of want red to be slowed down by them. I think that's going to be a delicate balance. We'll figure it out. We're definitely burning this one, though. That a movement conflux? No, that is an empowering conflux. That's fine. I like that too. Alright, we'll get that conversion on this coming turn. 130 dust. Fantastic. Okay. Some blood crystal. We've assimilated a minor faction. We must search those ruins with 2 level 2 minor faction units in our army. Well, at this point, any minor faction units that we spawn will be level 2 because we are in Era 2. We are crazy rich right now. Like, rich enough that I don't know what to do with it all. That's a weird problem to have. We could hire another combat hero? Maybe? What if we just had 2? Honestly, that doesn't sound terrible to me. Hold on, do I want to convert this village? Delvers, really? Wow. I don't want to convert this village. Thing is, we definitely want to have the resources to convert this village, because the building cost reduction is really valuable for getting the museum done. Also, we should definitely be getting the museum done before the husbandry center. We do not, we will not benefit from the husbandry center while we are building our museum. I might want to put out another full influence turn just to try to grab both of the villages, because we could really use the extra population, right? And this seems like a relatively safe location, at least as far as we know. Hey, how do you guys feel? You feel like you want to give me a quest now. I'm not doing that. You do not get those things. We should probably have these dudes join up. And did you have to come out there instead of here? Alright, so we're going to do that at some point. We got to kind of reunite our forces here. Oh, movement conflux. That is very lucky. Alright, well that means that we might be able to get all 3 of these ruins, which is fantastic. We have so much money. How much money does it take to rush a Museum of Ariga? 1630? Like, we could take a significant amount of time off of this, actually. Is that worth doing? Maybe we just want to boost out our titanium extract. Yeah, actually, I probably do want to do this. I want to get those resources coming in. We're going to need them for building weapons and stuff. So let's get open pit mine, and then let's get alchemical alloys. Do I want... maybe I want archers first. You know what? Not a decision I have to make right now. I do want to finish open pit mine. Alright, so let's move over to here, which is a relatively safe location. Let us undo this fungal bloom. This is going to take me 8 turns, really? I was hoping, like, with having extra units around. I guess our overall fortification health is still pretty bad. Or fortification damage, rather. Still pretty bad. Yeah, this is actually kind of great. Maybe I want to just buy myself an Ursus or 2, you know, a Rumbler or 2, and get rumbling this thing. And I'm leveling up. We're definitely just taking the same route with him we took last time. You guys should join up so I'm not paying so much for armies. We found the Dish of Canuck again. Pretty handy. Also 85 dust, which is extremely welcome. Whoever assimilates the Dorgeshi gets all of the glass steel. Actually, I would really like to do that, please. I want all that glass steel. So yeah, this is slow. This is too slow. Well, okay. Let's talk about Rumblers. What if I gave them all this stuff? An axe is actually pretty good for them, I think. I think we're going to end up fighting... We may have to fight the Mykara a little bit, and the Mykara are pretty ranged heavy. There's also definitely something to be said for just stunning them instead of doing 30% bonus damage. Because we can't steal their attack, or we can't steal their attack by just attacking them, because we're too slow. But we could steal their attack by stunning them. You know, next turn's attack. The hammer does way more damage, too. And, like, the minus 12 initiative is completely meaningless when you're at 11 initiative. If we do this, like a relatively cheap design, that is 517 dust to buy out. Not as cheap as I would like. Well, let's move people over to industry. I think we have enough influence now, it turns out, since we're not going to be able to convert that anyway. It is way too hard to remove fungal blooms. If an army with a couple of units in it led by a hero is taking 8 turns to do it, when you catch it before it completes, that's a little unreasonable. Alright, let's get a couple more searches done. We can probably still buy out that Rumbler, have him come over here and help. Honestly, what we'll probably do with him is have him come over here and loot stuff to accelerate out the Rumbler afterward. This is getting done quickly, though. Very pleased with that. So let's get you down here and search this. You love a good movement conflux. Okay, we got ourselves a cool crossbow that unfortunately is made out of glass steel. And as such, unequipable at the moment. You know, I could just sell off one of my existing minor faction units to... Well, I could have if I'd left him in the village. Yeah, that might have been a good idea. Leave him... Sell him off and then use the profits to buy a better unit that is in a better position. I definitely want this. I didn't even really think about the fact that we have tier 2 stuff available. Well, whatever. I'm not going to bother with this, I think. Yeah, I didn't recalibrate my thinking based on the fact that we hit Era 2 before turn 20. Whatever, it's fine. Yeah, we gotta add... So the fortification damage here is the problem, I think. We're burning through the fortification damage of this fungal bloom. So that's enough dust to buy out the Rumbler. He'll pop out next turn, and hopefully that'll be time enough for us to search things. This ruin is only accessible from the north, and we don't know exactly where. Well, let's convert this village if we can. Nope, we cannot. 75. Alright, can I move one person to influence without affecting the build time of the museum? No, I cannot, but we're still going to move him over. We'll just grab this random Kazanji, because we need the population. So am I going to try to go for this? That is a movement conflux. We could go for that and then try to wrap around. It might actually be faster. But, like, let's be honest here. We're talking about 1, maybe 2 more turns of eclipse time. You probably just need to get home. As much as I would love to run around and explore, I think we're going to find ourselves in battle with Pink relatively soon. I would like to be at home. Yeah, I'm just gonna stay put. We're just not gonna get that. Oh, I think I'm gonna get Nameless Guard first. Or do I want to delay Nameless Guard a little bit for Alchemy Workshop and just really keep riding this extremely fast technology train? Probably I want to do that. Let's really press our advantage. Fast early teching is very valuable to a good military strategy. So I think I'm just gonna... Am I just gonna sell that guy? Hold on. Hold on, let's not do anything hasty. You gotta get out here. What? Come over and stop me, I dare you. Alright. Who knows? Maybe we'll get one more turn. Wolfbane the Shepherd. Kind of funny, because like now all we want is dust, and it's impossible to get dust out of ruins all of a sudden. Eclipse ruins, of all things. think I'm going to just sell this demon. At this point in the game, these units are actually pretty good. Is my only hesitation. Like, we can reasonably use these units to actually fight our enemies. And we're going to have to unbloom that as well. Man, this is very annoying. So we have a level 1 Rumbler who is not close to leveling. This guy's closer. Okay, so him plus this Rumbler will be what we need to search this ruin. It's just a matter of unblooming it. Ozzy gets an extra point of movement for everybody. We're still fervent. And once we hit this, I'm gonna grab this guy. Once we hit the museum, we'll be fervent like forever. We probably will never drop below fervent again. I think I'm just gonna sell him. The odds of him being useful are pretty low. I think I'd rather have the money. Oh, hey, Purple. Well, we should probably go meet Purple. I was going to head home with these units, but let's go and introduce ourselves. We need to know what is happening in the world around us. So I don't love that we're in kind of the middle of a bunch of stuff here. We'll figure it out. 3 turns on this museum makes me feel like we are probably going to get it. I think things are going pretty well on the whole. This Mykara problem is serious, though. Ah, that's a shame. Not a huge surprise, just a shame. Okay, so at this point, I want to pop the emeralds just to give us... Well, we're only talking about 2 turns of being lower, and maybe I want to save the emeralds until we actually have... a reason to use them to boost our fortifications. I'm trying to think. Do we want to, like, I kind of want to jump up our next population point. Take it easy on the influence for a moment. Well, we can see the edge of Purple's territory. I want to actually meet Purple, though. This is not usually how I get down. But with the cult, because we're not worried about them potentially attacking our city anytime soon, because we won't be expanding toward them, we can afford to meet people earlier. An army in Khitan has 160 dust for me. Well, that's actually pretty interesting. I might want that. Okay, well now our army has a fortification damage of 12. Which I think is helpful. Oh, that's not a city, that's a minor faction village. It is actually owned by Purple, though. I'm surprised that this didn't give us a meeting with them. You need the gold extractor up at some point. We're gonna need more burrows. Like, yeah. Oh, you know what? I didn't even think about... There's a ruin in the way over here. Okay, so we're going to have to build our city... Oh, no, that's right. We're building in these 2 rows, mostly. We'll have to bend it around to grab stuff over time. Yeah, we're doing okay. I'm despairing a little bit about all the mushrooms. We had such a fast start going. Alright, as winter falls, we get a big boon in the completion of this thing. So that's 20... First of all, like I said, we're fervent for the rest of the game. 20% of dust and science. Actually doesn't show on our completed improvements thing. That's weird. Yeah, 20% dust and science, as long as we stay happy at least. Pretty good. Pretty good. Well, we don't know Purple yet, so they can't get mad at me for stealing their pearls. I assume, without evidence. Yeah, minus food, minus dust is definitely hitting us. We're feeling that. So let's plan to just build out this way. I think we're going to move people to food for a minute here. Let's really push population as we build up toward having troops. I guess, actually, we're not going to get the benefit of the extra population on food here. Maybe I want to get closer to getting done with stuff because we do want to start the alchemy workshop next turn. And then after that, we're on troops for a little while, probably. Yeah, we got to get strong. Alright, let us, this Rumbler's getting pretty close to a level. Not like close, but I guess we're gonna have to take the time to defungalize the ruin anyway. So yeah, we don't need to build any more units over here. This guy will be our second level 2 minor faction. Let's actually pin our faction quest here. Also, how long until we have 2 more turns until we just get a free level 2 Ursus out of this one? Yeah, we have some conversions. Oh, there's another player there, so expect these to be deconverted at any moment. Here we have the vision of some actual... Okay. We should still meet them. Let's push on a little bit more here. I think this should be enough. This should give us mutual vision of each other. Yep, there we go. We have met Selja. Good day, fellow sufferer. You know, honestly, I think the Ardent Mages and the cult would get along pretty well, except for the fact that the Ardent Mages are not, don't seem like the type to go in for working for anybody else. Okay, 50 dust. Violent tremors are shaking the ground. Urkans are going to spawn, but they have not spawned yet. Alright, Alchemy Workshop. Very important. Maximum importance. Maximum, though? These burrow streets are also pretty important. Let's get these done, and then we'll figure out what things look like after that. So we're gonna colonize this immediately afterward, but we're not actually gonna be able to do that. Yeah, we're gonna need more people on influence to colonize this, and I don't know how many. Will this be enough? Possibly. Yeah, this taking as many turns as it takes. I guess this is good information for when we play as Mykara next. You can apparently just fungalize stuff all over the place no matter what and ignore the danger that enemy units might pose, because they don't pose a danger. Okay, little convert. Are we actually fighting the Mykara? Should I attack this guy? I'm not sure. Because I don't want them to be strong, certainly. And the more units they have running around, the more the odds that they accidentally stumble into our Rumbler here. It turns out I can't attack them this turn anyway. What I'm freeing these guys for is to bring them over here and attack these Delvers with the help of the city garrison. You guys, I guess, are just coming home now. We need to gather up our forces a little bit. Yeah, this is going to be annoying. Villages converted over here are a little bit more likely to stick. We're just going to have to figure out a way to have enough military units to play defense on all of our various villages. Not a trivial task. Also, I hate all of this dust loss. This guy's going to level in 4 turns. We can afford to just sell this one. I don't think this one's going to provide any benefit to us at all. If the village gets attacked, he just dies, and then the village burns, so... I'm going to focus on the task. Okay, I just need you to... Wait. Oh, hey, I selected you. You to initiate this battle. This should be very, very easy. Try to keep our Rumbler out of it as much as possible. As it doesn't really matter. They got to move. Let's just have you stand here. No, why would you... Focus, man. You're only going to get to move 2 spaces no matter what, so you may as well just walk in a straight line. Okay, so now we have them... Now we have them pinned. And we are, I think, just going to have to destroy the village. Then, like, I guess we're going to do that. Because we're definitely close enough to get the city garrison on the village attack as well. Start burning that down. Okay, it is not dependent on your fortification strength. It actually just always takes 8 full turns to remove a fungal bloom. That's sort of unbelievable. How did they think that was okay? Especially with the fungal bloom making your like steps of your faction quest undoable, and that is crazy to me. As when you're a player, they're expensive, right? The amount of food lost is totally non-trivial. But even so, all right, let's clean up this village, and then I guess we can call it there for today. Yeah, so having a Mykara neighbor maybe is not actually going to work for us. I was all excited to have a neighbor who isn't going to be expanding into all the territory around me, but this is actually worse, I think. If we just kill the Mykara, it's going to unfungus all of the stuff at once, and I think that's our plan right now. We're just going to go over there and kill him. So we've got our Nameless Guard available now. We'll just build a bunch, and we'll do the murder. Look at that, we met the Fomorians, thanks to having the area of the battle explored. So yeah, you could just be here, whatever. These guys are not likely to get to do too much as it stands. Well, that's just embarrassing. How are you going to fail to do any damage? Look at the size of your arms, man. You going to let that crazy murder robot out-damage you? Yep, I guess he is, because he's too slow to get his licks in. In his defense, robots are also very strong. Hi, can I help you? I'm gonna, I was planning to put this guy back in the garrison. Maybe he needs to run over here. He's not gonna get there in time for it to matter. Well, alright, whatever. Fungal bloom is like family to us, and what you have done is murder. Alright, yeah, we're not going to be able to coexist with these dudes. Hopefully, they will have used all of their crazy fungus powers to grow very quickly so that when we burn their city down, we get a lot of stockpiles out of it. So, I am tempted to pick up alchemical alloys next, but we also want destructive analysis, right? If we're going to get burning, let's get ready to burn. Meritocratic promotion, also important. Lots of things to do. I'm not too stressed about the... Yeah, I'm not too stressed about the extra units in the army. Well, maybe I should be. How much do I think the initiative bonus is going to matter? It doesn't matter much on these units. It'll matter a little bit more on the Nameless Guard, I suppose. Who we are definitely interested in building. Can't check the price to convert that village with this guy for some reason. So, if we look at our Nameless Guard here, Basic tier 2 gear. Probably, given their ranged, we want to have shields. That is a production cost of 264 against our 121 industry. Pretty bad. That number is, bad. 121. Well, you know, we could go get hydrology real fast before doing any of this. So that we can have canal locks. That's probably worth doing. We have the resource income for the build. Yeah, I think we're going to have to do that. We're in a low enough industry area that if we want to be competitive on army building, we're going to have to do that. The Urkan has popped up in an area that is extremely distant. Yeah, not at all available to us. So we'll worry about him later. Some other day. Alright, well, I think this is maybe an okay place to stop. And to be honest with you, I was feeling really good about our start until I realized how annoying it is to deal with fungal blooms. Now we're going to have to kill Pink or we're going to get starved out a little bit, I think. So that is going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Come back next time to see how exactly we deal with this fungal infection. And we'll see you then.